10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, top. Allumage.
This is the Ariane 4, one of the European space rocket, back in February 1990 in his flight number 36. At the beginning, everything seemed to go right, but less than 2 minutes after taking off, the Ariane 4 exploded in the middle of French Guiana tropical sky. This is the starting point of my story, because this evening I would like to talk to you about teams. And believe me, launching a rocket is one of the biggest teamwork ever exist. I can tell you, because I started my career working in the European Spaceport in French Guiana. I've been working there for 5 years, and it was there where I first realized the importance of teaming. But what happened to Flight 36? Was it a problem with the computer on board? Was it a problem with the complex navigational system? No. The problem was this: a rack, a 50-cent rack that in fact costed more than $40 million to all the Europeans, because the cleanup boy has forgotten this rack inside one of the engines of the Ariane 4, making the aircraft to explode. Some years after that accident, I was in the European Spaceport in my first coordination meeting for the Ariane 5 program. And I was really surprised to see, when I entered the room, about 35 people sitting around a big table. But I was amazed to see, sitting side by side, the head engineer and the cleanup boy. And I was expecting something more hierarchical, but in fact, everybody was there. And that was one of the lessons learned by the European Space Agency after the accident of Flight 36. And me and all other people in the Ariane 5 program, we share a goal: launching a rocket. And we felt part of a thing bigger than ourselves. And the most important thing is that we felt that we were an essential piece of that program. And this is very motivating. So, first ingredient for good teamwork is to share a goal. And second is to believe that you are essential to that goal. You may think, okay, teamwork only happens in work environments very well organized, like in the European Space Agency. Because there, all activities were truly defined, all teams are already structured, everybody knows what to do at every stage. But actually, teamwork is something that comes naturally. It's something that we have deeply recorded inside the core of human beings. Neuroscientists explain that it is part of our reptilian brain, one small part of our brain back here, which is the responsible of reaction to danger and survival. So I was very conscious of that. Once in French Guiana, when we went out to the forest with colleagues, that time we took a boat up the river and we started walking into the jungle. That day, a guide came with us with a map and a compass. And After 3 hours walking in the jungle, trekking, the guide suddenly stopped, turned around, and told us, guys, we are lost. So, you are lost with your compass and your map? So, suddenly, all the group, we share a goal, getting out of there as soon as possible. Remember that sharing a goal is the first ingredient for teamwork. So naturally, we start brainstorming. We need to get out as soon as possible, before sunset. So what can we do? It's not easy to get out of the forest, because the guide didn't know, but a map and a compass are almost useless. Because landscape is always changing. You have fallen trees, you have rising tides, holes. You cannot walk in a straight line. So we came up with a possible solution. We said, okay, let's organize a human chain where every member can see the next guy. And the last thing we wanted was to separate the group. This way, we could try several paths, and we first reach the river and then find our boat. So we were safe. You see, teaming emerged spontaneously in extreme situations. We were all motivated to get out of there. We were engaged with survival. But what happens if you want to motivate people who are not risking their lives? How can we do it? So here is where the game enters the scene. The game replaces the extreme situation, provides the goal, and provides difficulties and obstacles to overcome in order to win. And this is motivating. But because teamwork always emerges in extreme situations, if you want to design a game, better do it for teams. And that's what we believe at ATA, and that's what we did. We launched our first ATA tool release. It was a gamified collaboration platform. Our first client was a secondary school who wanted to motivate the students to learn history. A very tough subject about Catalonia history, I can assure. And then, being our first client, you can imagine we were truly excited. We wanted to monitor every piece of data to understand what was going on. At that time, ATA tool has a pretty flat gamification model. All people got the same goals, and they need to collaborate to reach that goals and earn some badges. First feedback from teacher was excellent. She was really surprised to see how students were motivated to learn and participate. So when we were monitoring this, after a few weeks, we get disappointed, because we've seen that some of the users were decreasing their activity. And particularly Maria, she has started pretty well, working and earning some points, but she has stopped suddenly her activity. So we wanted to find out what's happened with Maria, and we talked to her. So guess what she told us? She told us, the less I do, the better will be, because my colleagues, my teammates, are already doing all the job. So in fact, she didn't feel part or needed to that project. She didn't have the second ingredient to feel essential. So apparently, the game was not enough. And Maria's feelings remind me about the lost in the jungle scenario. Some people don't motivate even in emergency situations, like the guide, who has abandoned as soon as the problem arises. So Maria has also abandoned. She gave up. So what happened with that? The problem with Maria and the guide was not in the scenario, in the context, whether it's real or not. The problem was in the team. So both ATA founders, Oscar and I, We wanted to solve this. How can we make a team to work as such, not letting anyone behind? And we look for help because we are engineers, and we look for help in scientists. And we contact with several neuroscientists and psychopedagogical researchers. At the end, we found our university here in Catalonia, University of Vic, who have been working, researching for 15 years to understand how people work in teams. So we signed an agreement with them to extend the research. Our challenge was, we want to leverage motivation by building good teams. And we finally implemented an algorithm which analyzes the dynamics and the structure of collaboration. Our algorithm is able to detect when a team is not working well, like in the case of Maria. And we changed the one-fit-all goals by personalized goals. So, summarizing, ATA is built on these three main principles. Teamwork, because it's motivational in itself. People feel safe, happy, and confident in a cohesive teamwork, in a cohesive team, which is able to achieve big things. Second, gamification, because it improves the motivation through the mastery, through autonomy, mastery, purpose, and empathy. And replacing the risky situations, we keep releasing our neurotransmitters, endorphin and dopamine, and adrenaline, who makes feel people good. And the last one, personalization. Because human beings, we are diverse. We are all our own skills, context, so we don't motivate the same way. With personalized goals, we ensure sustainability and scalability of motivation. So let me show you ATA in action for a few seconds. So gamification in ATA consists of challenging teams in a game. The game starts automatically. All the projects, all the teams that are working in projects will participate in the game. And the winner will be the first team to achieve the target points. Users collaborate to solve the project activities, and ATA analyzes the quality of teamwork. And we provide personalized goals depending on the performance of the teams. So far, ATA has demonstrated that gamification, teamwork, and personalization are three powerful things to change obligation into motivation. Thank you.